Rev up your engines! If your car's air conditioning system is giving you problems, today's your lucky day because I'm going to show you how you can fix it. Now, you could pay a mechanic like me $150 an hour to work on it, but there's a lot of stuff you can do yourself, and I'm going to show you them right now. Now, the first thing I'm going to deal with are odors coming out of your AC. That's why I got this Lysol spray in my hand. Unfortunately, AC systems are both dark because they're inside the dash, the evaporator that gets cold, and damp. Well, dark and dampness are favorite habitation modes for mold and bacteria. So the mold and bacteria will often grow in. Now the Lysol will get rid of them. But before you start spraying, most cars inside the glove box have cabin air filters. If you just spray it with the filter, and you're only going to spray it on the filter, and the spray won't go through the whole system. So, a pain to do. Now, these have a little piece that holds it on. This one's broken, so it doesn't matter. You have to disconnect this, but this one's already gone, so we don't even care. So what you got to do is you got to push this in here. There's a tab. While you push up here. And when you do that, you got that side out. So then you do the other side. You pull and push, and down it comes. Cabin air filter's just hiding in here. You got little tabs. You pull them, put one side, then the other, and out it comes. And here's the cabin air filter. We'll pull it out. And as you can see, it's filthy. A piece of it was even stuck in the top. So we need to get one of these. We'll do that later when we go to the store. Now, we're gonna use some Lysol. What we're gonna do is we're gonna start it up, and we'll turn the AC on as low as it goes. Full speed fan, front and back. And we want outside air, not inside. Turn that off. Now it's the outside air coming in. Now all the air is being drawn in the vents. You can feel them sucking air. So, get our Lysol and spray it all over the place. Like I said, you want to spray it a good 5-10 minutes or so on and off to soak it all. And if you really want to do a good job, soak it good, then let it sit overnight. That way the alcohol and everything in here will kill the mold and bacteria. The longer it soaks, the better it's going to kill them. And realize if you live in a really humid place like Houston, Texas, you might have to do this 5 or 6 times a year. Mold and bacteria come back real fast. They multiply quickly. So, parked at night, eventually it's going to build up again, and it really cleans it up. Now, a lot of people don't like the smell of this, so when you're done, roll all 4 windows out. You might get a little fan, point it out the window to suck it all out. That'll get rid of the smell in half an hour or so. But it really does kill the stuff quite well. Well, we got rid of the smell now. That's one thing. Now, let's say your AC isn't blowing as cold as you think it should. What you'll often find is the passenger side blows really cold, but either the driver's side, or in this case, the rear ACs, there and there, if they're not blowing that cold, and that often means you're low on refrigerant. Now, if you want to do it the absolute perfect way, you either buy a lot of equipment or you pay a mechanic like me, and you suck out all of the old refrigerant with the recycling machine. Here's my recycling machine. Then you use an electronic refrigerant scale, it's basically a backward scale, to put in the correct amount of refrigerant back in. Needless to say, that's going to cost you a lot of money to either buy the equipment or pay a mechanic like me to do it. You can use one of these add cans. Just make sure it has a gauge. You can add some in. Now, nothing beats the perfection of putting the right amount in by weight. As you can see here, it's telling you in English and French, so we'll go to English, that this thing holds 134A, and the maximum is 0.81 kilograms. That's a little under 2 pounds. This one takes more than most because it's got a dually system for the front and the back. If you find, as in the case of this car, now we're fine with a temperature gun, okay, this thing's putting out, let's see, 37 degree air. That's really good, but we'll go to the back. As we go to the back of the car, we'll see, look, it's only 73, so obviously it is not working. I have it set as low as it goes, so it's probably low on refrigerant. Now, I got a little bit lower, but still, it's 70 degrees. 9 times out of 10, that means you're low on refrigerant. Well, at least the case of Toyotas, because realize one thing, all cars lose refrigerant over time. The compressor spins, it has a seal. The compressor runs on that seal. If the seal was perfect and didn't leak, the seal would run dry, burn out, you'd lose everything. So they're deliberately made to leak a little refrigerant and refrigerant oil to keep the seal lubricated so it doesn't burn out. Now, this is a 9-year-old Sienna, and it's never had refrigerant added. Mind you, the front's blown cold, the back isn't blown quite as cold, so odds are it's going to need a little refrigerant. Like I said, If you want to do the perfect job, you suck everything out, go by the label on the car, put in that amount, it'll be perfect. But since this is only a little low, we can use one of these ad cans. Just remember to use the right can. This is 134A. Many modern cars use the new one, R1234YF. Make sure you get the right one. They have tags on the car, tell you which one it's got, how much it needs, but you got to use the right one. Now it's easy to find the ad. In the case of this is the high side, so you don't add it on the high side. You add it on here, the low side. It screws in here. Now this has L for low, but both my fancy pressure gauges and the ad can valve only fit one way. If you try to put this on the high side, it won't fit. It only fits the low side. Now we don't want any air in the system, so when you push this, it puts a little refrigerant. So what we do is we push it a little while we hook it up. Now it's on nice and tight, and we want to push it so we can see the gauge. There's the gauge. Now it's not running, so we have to start up the car and turn the AC on full blast with outside air, not recirc. You can see we want fresh air coming in. We'll add a little by pushing this. As long as it stays in the green, it's good, and it's still in the green. Now we put the can in, and it's still pretty much in the middle of the green, so that's good. You don't want to overfill it. I mean, if you use empty it out and put it in by weight, you get the perfect amount, but you're better to have a little bit less than too much. So we put in this can, and now we're going to check the temperature. So now we're back in the back, and let's see what it is. It's already gone down to 54 degrees, 53 degrees, 52. It's gone down like 20 degrees in the back. Now it's in the 40s. It fixed the problem. So we fixed the whole problem by adding a can. In this case, it's 454 grams. Now, this vehicle's never been touched. It's my son's car. So, one little can, got it 20 degrees cooler, fixed the problem. Now, like I said, if you want perfection, you pay a mechanic like me with the equipment, we will suck it all off. By law, we have to recycle it in a recycling machine that recycles it, and then we have to weigh it to get the same exact amount in it. It will be perfect, but you can see we got 20 degree colder air. Now, if you are going to do this, you really want one with a gauge, because the gauge has blue, green, and red. If your pressure starts going into red, you turn this can off and don't do it anymore. There's lots of things that can go wrong in an AC system. You put on a can, you start adding refrigerant, it's in the red, turn it off, you got a problem you're going to have to pay a mechanic to fix probably. But as long as you keep it in the green, you're not going to do any damage. And like I say, better too little than a little bit too much. In this case, we took a can, 20 degrees colder air, you can't complain. You can always add more later. Let's say, okay, this lasts for a year or two. Well, then you can add a little bit more later. Always in the case of refrigerant, a little bit less is better than too much. You don't want high pressure. A little low pressure isn't going to really hurt much, but high pressure is going to destroy the system. And now we got a new cabin air filter. Easy to put in. The up points up. Snaps in, then we snap this back in, snap the glove box back in. So why pay a mechanic hundreds of dollars to do stuff you can easily do? Realize, if you have a clogged cabin air filter, not only will it not blow as cold, it makes the system work harder, it'll wear out faster. Check that once or twice a year if you live in a dirty air area. And hey, you can try those cans to refill yourself like I did. A little spray can of Lysol. You'll have cold AC and you won't have spent a fortune on it. And here's some bonus questions and answers. Scotty Demand 2023 says, I just picked up a 2001 Corolla Wagon for $500. Automatic, 160,000 miles. It's leaking oil by the time you belt cover. But it still stands up and drives fine. Are these things any good? What do you think? Okay, well, you paid $500 for a Toyota that runs. And you say it shifts good, and you even say the AC blows ice cold. So, what you want to do is have the front of the engine taken apart. You want to replace all the oil seals, the cam oil seals, the crank oil seal, the oil pump oil seal. Those are very dependable vehicles. I mean, they can run a really long time. They stopped making a station wagon. It kind of pees me off because I like station wagons. We had a beautiful Toyota Camry station wagon I bought for $3,000, drove the heck out of it. Both my sons learned how to drive on it, and they drove them like maniacs, and it was still running when I sold it to a woman who joined the Peace Corps and drove it off to California. Kind of funny though, I saw a Santa Fe the other day I made a video with. I don't care what they say, it's a Hyundai Santa Fe, and it's not an SUV, it's a station wagon. It's long and rectangular, it is a station wagon. Seems to me you got a good one, just do all the oil seals on it. They're really well-made vehicles. So if you never want to miss another one of my new car repair videos, remember to ring that bell.